So I quit the gym, but hear me out. I know a few people have said throughout the comments over a lot of my videos that I need to work out, I need to hit the gym, that I don't look athletic, that I don't this, that I don't physically that, yada yada yada. But I decided to quit the gym. Now, this would have made a lot of sense if I did it almost a year ago when all my spinal issues started. I would have saved a year's worth of gym membership. But it was something that at the time I convinced myself the recovery for the spinal surgery was going to be really simple, really not quick, but you know what I mean? I'd be able to get back to the gym and I'd be able to hit on with the gym. But unfortunately, recovery started to take a little bit longer than I imagined. That was my naivety that kind of got me there. But throughout the recovery, I've had to really, really ease things in to the point where I started to walk. Now, walking is something that I have kept consistent doing, and every day I've gone for a walk. And I've been walking around, and I think an awful lot in case you hadn't noticed. When I was younger, I always used to think the idea of a gym was a little bit silly. You see, a lot of people go to the gym to then run or cycle. But you can do that in the outside world. It'd make more sense to go outside and do it rather than go to a room and do it. And it was something that as a kid I never really understood. The reason that I joined the gym in the first place is because I needed shoulder surgery. And a lot of the rehab there was various different weight exercises, which obviously is easier to do in the gym when you've got a massive selection of different weights and machines that help you in various different ways. That was the reason that I initially joined the gym. Now, I went quite often back then. I had a couple of friends who used to come with us, and we used to go to the gym pretty much daily, every week. We used to go, and it was a routine that we got ourselves into, and it was good. But it didn't really change my body shape as much as playing rugby for all those years did. And when I had to stop playing rugby and continue to go to the gym, it didn't really feel that it had that same kind of feeling to it anymore. Now, fast forward into the more later days, and I've always had the gym membership, and I go as and when, and it was very infrequent, and it wasn't anything really that I could get my teeth into and just kind of rebuild that habit of going every day. It wasn't something that I got enjoyment from anymore. It was just kind of a means to an end in that, oh, let's go when we feel we've got to do something, rather than let's go build the habit, maintain, and try and aim for specific goals. And I think that's the key word there, goals. Because a lot of people think working out means you've got to end up heading towards the body of a bodybuilder. Whereas from a scientific side of things, it's more about resistance exercises just to keep the muscles awake and just to stimulate like the central nervous system, just to kind of wake everything up and kick it up to a gear. Now, you don't necessarily need weights to do that. You just need resistance. You can do that with resistance bands. You can do that with body weight. And that got me thinking, why am I paying this monthly membership to basically go to a place to do stuff that I could do potentially at home, or depending on what the exercise is, I can do it when I'm out on a walk? You see, you've got to look after your finances. And if I'm putting so much money into a gym membership every month, I need to be feeling that I'm getting that back. But if I sit down and go, hang on a minute, if I collated maybe 3 months gym membership, I could buy various different weights that I could need to do 90% of the exercises that I need. But it doesn't even need to be weights. I can buy resistance bands, and resistance bands are a lot cheaper than weights. And then I was just thinking, well, if I can't motivate myself to do bodyweight exercises at home, what makes me think I can motivate myself to go to a different place, to actually get dressed into my gym equipment, get in my car, drive to a different place, and then do the exercises? There's so many more processes in between me starting that and me achieving that. There's a million and one excuses to be made there. Whereas if I'm at home, I just get on and do it. Bodyweight exercises. Why do we need to pay for stuff that we already have, the capabilities to do? Now, the other week I went to the physio again for stuff on my back, and he's given me these big rubber resistance bands to do, and it's all bodyweight exercises to try and strengthen up myself. And I've been doing these exercises, and I've really been thinking today, why do I have a gym membership? I'm not looking to get massive. I'm just looking to be healthy. And you don't need that gym membership to be healthy. You can do that with everything that you have around you. Me walking every day has helped me, my mind and my body. Sure, like even I can see there's no massive difference to my body. There's no change in shape. I'm a little bit lighter, but I don't look it. But it's the consistent habit that matters, because I am going to get fitter the more I do it. And I can feel myself being able to go for longer now that things are easing off, and now that I'm getting that a little bit further into recovery. So with that in mind, I was like, I'm going to save myself some money. I'm going to sack off my gym membership, and I'm just going to at least focus on doing stuff at home, because I think that's the most important thing, is building that habit in the first place. And if I can't sit here and say, well, I can do 10 press-ups every day, why do I think I'm going to go to the gym where there's really heavy weights and even contemplate lifting that stuff? You've got to start at ground zero and build up. And if I'm not going to do the basic stuff at home with no money and just what I have, my body weight or these rubber bands that I've got from the physio, it's like getting ahead of yourself. And I know people will be like, but you go to the gym because it's that different space, because it's the environment that motivates them. And fair enough. If that's something that works for you, no argument whatsoever. For me personally, it really didn't do anything. It was just like, go to the gym again. And you open the door and it's that horrible, musky, sweaty kind of air, and there's just treadmills and bikes and there's people on them. And because I'm from a small town, it didn't really matter which gym I went to. The stuff that you wanted to use always had somebody on it, and you could never get to it. So you were going to the gym, compromising which exercises you were doing because of the availability of the equipment anyway, and then coming back home thinking, well, I went to the gym, but you didn't necessarily achieve what you wanted to achieve. So it was almost becoming a real big waste of money. I would say people who are looking to maybe feel a little bit fitter or exercise more or something else like that, I would really suggest looking at every other option before joining a gym and going to a gym. Obviously, there's a lot of motivational factors there, weather being one of them. A lot of people will say, well, if I go to the gym, I can do all my exercises, I can run, I can ride a bike, whatever, and it's all nice and dry. Whereas if, obviously, with the kind of autumn, winter months coming, you go outside, it's going to get rainy. Who wants to be running in the rain? But I think that's the point as well. Because exercise is good for the mind. That's pretty much a fact. Now, what's better to build strength in the mind? To go into a nice, controlled, stinky environment where you're never going to get rained on, you don't have to face the wind, you don't have to breathe the air that's, probably a lot better for you anyway. You go to that environment to just go through the motions. Or you go outside, and you have to force yourself in those really shitty conditions. You have to force yourself to go outside and say, I'm going to do my run today in this torrential rain. And that's going to strengthen your mind, I feel, much more than saying, I'm going to get in my car and drive to a room and run on a stationary platform. I just don't feel there's any motivation for me personally to do that second option. Now, at the minute, there's not much motivation to do the first option either. Running outside in the rain doesn't sound like a lot of fun. But I will say, because I have been walking every single day for, I don't even know how long it is now, coming up to 2 months, maybe 2.5, 3 months. I've built that habit where I feel guilty if I don't go outside, and I don't care about the weather because I have a coat. And I think that's the thing. We seem to be in this weird world in modern times where we don't realise, or a lot of people seem to forget, you can dress for the conditions even if you're doing exercise. You can get waterproofs, you can get, like Macs, you can get ponchos, whatever. You can wear 1,000,001 different pieces of clothing that are going to help protect you from the elements a little bit, whilst you can still do your exercise. Now, as an asthmatic, I personally believe I benefit a lot better trying to struggle and breathe against the outside air when it's a cold day and it's wind and it gets really in my throat and in my chest. I genuinely believe that helps me more than if I go into a stale environment where it just stinks and tastes of sweat and try and work out in that environment. I'm only basing that on my life experience. I used to be outside all the time as a kid, and I just felt so much better for it. Running around, just tearing around, being a little terror with my friends. I used to love that. Playing rugby, used to love that. Fast forward to the modern times, I simply do not get outside anywhere near as much as what I did as a kid. A lot of that is time limited, but a lot of that was choice. I'm very lucky where I live. I have a lot of nature around me, and it's really not that far away. I can literally go out my door and be in a country park within 5 minutes. And that country park is quite large. Why am I not taking advantage of those things? And that's kind of where the penny dropped for me. And I was like, I'm cancelling my gym membership because there's no point. I want to enjoy the simple things in life. And I think that's what I'm fast learning. The simple things. The things that are free. It's free to go outside here. I don't need to spend a monthly membership to step outside my door and run around the street. I don't need to spend a monthly membership to do push-ups, to do sit-ups, to do bodyweight dips. There's 1,000,001 different bodyweight exercises that you can do to help add that resistance to your body. And that's what I'm saying. It's goal-orientated. It's not about getting massive and hench and huge. It's about building that resistance just to keep that body alive, to wake it up a little bit. Obviously, on the back of that, the more you do, the more exercise that you actually do, for sure your body's going to change shape. You're going to get stronger. You are going to lose a little bit of chub. That's just a natural path. If you eat right and you move more, your body's going to change shape. I'm not saying that I'm going to achieve very well in this, but I feel that it's something that I want to focus on a lot more. I want to try and build a routine around it, and I don't know what it is. I'm going to start with all these exercises that I've been given for my back because they're all good core exercises. So I'm going to start with them and build on them. And I think it's something that's really kind of, I don't know, tickled me in a way that I didn't really expect. And it was something that I needed. Besides, it frees up that money for the membership to put for something else. So just let me know what you guys think. Like, are you a sort of person who needs that environment of the gym? Or if you really sat down and think, do you benefit from going to the gym? Is there anything that you could do at home that's going to give you the same goals as what you're setting at the gym? If you're putting away quite a bit of money towards gym membership, if you stop paying gym membership, would you be able to afford, and have you got the space for, basic weight setup, basic resistance setup, that kind of thing? Would you actually save money by stopping your gym membership and buying a particular weight or something yourself? For me, I don't necessarily have a lot of free space around here, but I've got enough space to do bodyweight stuff. I've got enough space for some dumbbells. Realistically, that's all I need. So why am I paying so much money to go to the gym every month? I'll never know. You don't have to have a gym membership to work out. You don't have to have a gym membership to have a healthy lifestyle. You just got to make right choices.